Welcome to the RPG Talk Show. My name is Dan Livey, and this is
Sean Wilker, Vice President of RPG Research. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization dedicated to the research and development of role-playing games in all formats and genres for all players.
yes, and we utilize this research to achieve recreational, leisure, educational, and therapeutic goals.
Today's main topic is historical perspective. This is number 3 in our historical perspective series.
Yes.
And this will be the building blocks of RPGs. What came before role-playing games that influence the existence of role-playing games.
Yes.
We will be skipping traps and riddles. Instead, we'll be introducing you to the Daggerheart tabletop role-playing game. Yes, I know it's been around for 2 years, but I just got my copy.
Yeah. But first, into just chatting, and you had a surprise for me.
Yes, just right over there, you will find something we were actually talking about last week.
And we're going to try and, bring this into the main topic as well, because this is Record of Lotus Wars, the DVD collection. Record of Lotus Wars, Chronicles of the Heroic Knight DVD collection. This is significant because it is one of the foundation building blocks of Eastern role-playing games.
Yes. This, we, as you might remember, last week we talked about Sword World.
Yes.
Which is the campaign setting that's based on Record of Lotus Wars.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the most popular role-playing game in Japan before Call of Cthulhu took over.
Yeah. And this...
So this is still the number 2 role-playing game.
Yeah, this is the number 2. And I am familiar with... Actually, I haven't watched this, so I don't know...
We should get a viewing party together.
I would love for that. But I do know that a lot of the... I don't want to say the narrative conceits, but a lot of the just things that we're used to seeing in anime when it comes to role-playing games in any format can trace its roots back to that Record of Lotus Wars.
Well, I think it may be the first anime, cartoon, or animation based on role-playing games.
Maybe.
Or Dungeons and Dragons, and then other role-playing games that came after that.
Yeah.
I mean, the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon was 1983?
I don't know.
But I do know that, when did that come out? Record of Lotus Wars.
So the... oh, geez, I have when the manga was...
Okay, start with that.
So the manga for Record of Lotus Wars was in 1986, which is, I want to say 9 years after Advanced Dungeons and Dragons.
Correct.
Yeah.
And the D&D cartoon came out in, I was right, 1983.
1983.
Okay. Which only had 3 seasons. But what year did that come out again?
The manga came out in 1986, so 3 years after the D&D cartoon.
Okay, so Dungeons & Dragons cartoon may be the first role-playing game-based animation or television show.
It's possible, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there was the Dragon Quest VHS game. That also came out in the 80s.
Yeah, there's a lot of... Dungeons & Dragons was pretty big in the 80s. Just, I wasn't aware of it back then. Mind you, because, well, I was still kind of growing up.
I was already playing.
Yeah.
And, I was a teenager in the 80s, graduated high school in 1986.
So, like, the D&D cartoon, I wouldn't have been aware of. I was 1 year old.
I was 5 years old when Dungeons & Dragons was invented. So I'm a little bit older.
Just a tad bit.
In my day and age, you had to color in your dice, and we liked it.
Yeah, and he's not joking. I've seen them. You rub the crayons into the indents to get them, and then you wiped off the excess.
Okay. Now, what we're talking about here is things that came after the invention of Dungeons and Dragons. So it's not really the historical stuff that we're going to get in later. And I have a fairly long list of what led up to Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes.
And you, as the audience, may be fairly shocked to see how far back I went.
Well,
this rabbit hole is deep.
Yes, it is. It is deep. But that's going to be in the main topic.
Yes. So what other shows that you like that are based on role-playing games?
Based off of role-playing games. Okay. Let's see here. I can go... I feel like I would either go Eastern or Western because that tends to be how my mind is broken up. When it comes to anime, I know that my wife is a huge fan of Slayer.
Yeah.
Which pretty much is regular Wondrous War is just campier.
Yeah.
Yeah. I admit that I'm a huge fan of a lot of things fantasy, so right now I'm rewatching, or at least I'm watching the new season of Frieren, Beyond the Journey's End, which is amazing.
I've been recommended for that one. I think I don't know if I force my family to watch this, or if I'm just going to watch it with you, whatever the case is. After I finish that, I want to watch the Frieren Login.
It is, well, Frieren Beyond Journey's End. Because then you've got, there's also Log Horizon, which, Log Horizon I think is also really, really good, but it a lot of times is compared to Sword Art Online, and, Sword Art Online is more popular, but I think the writing in Log Horizon is so much better.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And Sword Art Online is not based on a tabletop. It is based on a massive multiplayer online.
Yeah. And this is one of the things that they go into where there's kind of like the isekai adjacent, isekai being transported into another world. So I think one of the original isekais, although it's not considered it, what is it? Dorothy Over the Rainbow.
Wizard of Oz?
Wizard of Oz.
I think actually before Wizard of Oz, we have the first isekai that I can think of is Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah. So we've got to, think of Alice in Wonderland and, Wizard of Oz, where you're being transported to another world. With Sword Art Online, there was a idea that they're being transported into a video game, but with the Sword Art Online, I play a lot of video games. It's a bad video game.
Well, it's not a bad video game. It's a bad game to be trapped in your life, actually, depending on it.
I'm saying both. It's a bad video game.
Okay. I'm sorry. I did remember a earlier isekai. Well, actually, I don't know who came first. Was it Alice in Wonderland or Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court?
Ooh, I don't know.
Hey, if you know, write into us.
Yeah.
Either in the comments section.
Well,
do we get comments in our comments section?
Not really.
Okay.
But what about Journey to the Center of the Earth?
I believe that came after Connecticut Yankee.
Okay. What about
Actually, no. Journey to the Center of the Earth may come first. Oh my goodness, are we going to have to do a show on the timeline of isekai?
No, we don't have to. But right off the top of my head, I'm just thinking about like the isekai. We're talking about building blocks here. The building blocks of isekai. There's also the time machine.
Yes.
Yeah. Anytime you're just transported to a brand new world, you're basically in a fish out of water type scenario. Yeah.
Yeah, that's H.G. Wells.
Yeah.
The Time Machine. I think isekai has been around in I think, don't quote me on
The
this,
premise as opposed to the genre.
yeah, has been around in the West
Mhm.
actually longer than it's been in Japan or China.
Possibly. Although I'm only a fan of anime. I haven't studied it nearly as much as I've
Right.
studied Western.
You don't know um, what mangas may have been isekai.
Not only that, but I'm not also steeped in the culture, where the culture does, just like how over here in the West, our culture helps define our media.
Right.
I'm not steeped in Japanese or Chinese or Korean culture. I'm only I'm only an observer.
Oh.
Yeah.
That story I told you about, written in Greek,
Mm-hmm.
in Greece.
Yeah.
That
May be an easy guy as well. Let's toss that in there too. But
the concept has been around for a little longer than forever.
Yeah, which is why I said the premise as opposed to the genre.
Right.
Then we also have I'm a huge fan of what is it? So I got reincarnated as a slime.
Yeah.
That one's just pure fun, and kind of similar to that. And this is why I say that Sword Art Online is just objectively a bad video game, because there's another one where Log Horizon, the video game, they actually care about the mechanics. In Log Horizon,
what's that gun law or gun something online? It's a spin-off from Sword Art Online.
Yeah, there was that too, but there's another anime where it's I got reincarnated as a spider. So what? And it's a video game that she's in. She recognizes she's in a video game, and she's dealing with all the mechanics, and the mechanics actually do affect the plot.
Right.
Yeah.
What is it? The isekai for I was an S-class monster, but reincarnated as a cat.
Something like There's an entire subgenre in isekai which is basically just power fantasy.
Well, there's two kinds of fantasy in isekai. It's power fantasy or it's harem.
Yeah. And, well, there's also
occasionally both.
a lot of times both.
Yeah.
And I'm also a huge fan of whenever you've got a piece of media that is a deconstruction of the media. So, an example of that would be, for comic books, Watchmen.
Yes.
For Westerns, Blazing Saddles.
If you really want to understand comics, there is a book, Understanding Comics.
Yeah.
And it is excellent.
Yeah. For Isekai, Konosuba.
Tell me a little more about Konosuba. I know the name, but I'm not sure.
Konosuba is a comedy. There is the main character, Konosuba, Kazuma, in Konosuba. He starts off in your classic isekai fashion, where he is a shut-in, right? He is leaving his dwelling, and he sees a little girl or someone about to be hit by a truck. This is a classic isekai trope, and he rushes out to save the girl in a instance of heroism. And the normal trope is the truck hits them, and they die. They get reincarnated. That's not what happens. Okay? He doesn't get hit by the truck. He barely saves the girl. The truck stops feet away from him, and he dies of embarrassment. So, he gets reincarnated, and he's talking to this goddess, which is kind of like an intermediary, before being...
Is this the one where he forces the goddess to come with him? Yeah!
Yes.
I do remember that now.
So, she's giving him a hard time, and just making fun of him. It says, okay, this is your standard package, you get to choose one thing, anything you want to go into this new world. And he's looking at all the options, and he doesn't like any of them, and she's pissing him off.
Right.
So he's like, you know what? I choose you. You're coming here with me.
Yeah.
And that's Aqua. And he is supposed to be destined to defeat the Demon Lord, but he's a screw-up.
Yeah.
He is a massive screw-up. Aqua, the goddess, isn't much better. They build an entire team of just, like, the biggest screw-ups ever. They only do one good thing, like, Darkness, who is the tank, is horrible at fighting. And it's very heavily implied that she kind of likes getting hurt. But, yeah. She can absorb damage.
Like Nifty in the Has-Been Hotel.
More so. More so. Nifty likes hurting things.
No, she likes to be hurt.
Yeah.
She jumped off a table several times, landing face first and going, pain, I love it. Gets up and does it again.
Like there's an episode in Konosuba where they're being chased after by just a literal horde of orcs, and Darkness jumps off of the caravan just to absorb the damage. They were getting away. She just wanted to be hurt.
Right.
Their mage only knows one spell. Explosion. Fireball. Not even fireball. Explosion. And she can only cast it once.
Ever or day?
Per day.
Okay.
She casts explosion. She gets knocked out, and they had to carry her back.
That was a trope of early Dungeons and Dragons. You've only got one spell, and trust me, it's not fireball.
Yeah. Kazuma, supposedly the hero, he only has one good stat, and it happens to be luck.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, no one told him that it's luck both ways. So he has really bad luck and a really good luck, and he can't decide which one. He doesn't get a choice.
Right.
Yeah. So that's Isekai.
Well, I want to bring up right now is that I can hear the audience saying, what's all this have to do with role-playing games? Well, these stories make great plots.
Yeah.
I remember in Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, they had an isekai story through the Crystal Cave, which brought you into an Alice in Wonderland type setting. There have been multiple role-playing games where your character comes from their planet to another world entirely, whether it be the Feywild or Sigil, which is the nexus of all the dimensions and worlds.
I mean, even Wild Beyond the Witchlight is effectively an isekai.
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually played an isekai character where I brought myself into the Dungeons and Dragons game. And so isekai for role-playing games has been around.
Yeah.
You can call of Cthulhu an isekai. That I know is meant to be the demons were already in your world and you didn't know it.
Yeah.
But there's a place called the Dreamlands.
Okay.
And you go into that world. So there's an isekai for Call of Cthulhu. There are definitely tropes in role-playing game. It's fun.
And not only that, but in terms of just the role-playing experience, how many times have we experienced or seen other people experience where in just a casual game, because the whole joke is you plan for Lord of the Rings and it turns into Monty Python.
Right.
Yeah. You roll a natural 20 on a perception check. It is so high you perceive your players.
Yeah. That's the old joke.
Yeah. It has happened so many times.
Well, I got a natural 20 and I have a plus 10. So
yeah.
I can see the players.
Yeah, that whole deconstruction, because we like playing it, but we understand the flaws of role-playing games. It is inherently, not reality.
Zombie orifice.
Orpheus.
Orpheus.
Yeah.
I always mess that up. And no, it's not a Freudian slip. Zombie Orpheus. No, Orpheus.
Yes. Orpheus.
Zombie Orpheus.
Yes.
Whatever.
The creators of Gamers.
Yes. Well, eventually, Gamers goes off the rails. I mean, there were no rails to start with, but when the characters from Gamers come into our world,
Yeah.
I'm not going to make a spoiler out of it and tell you what the first thing they do is of coming into our real world. But they eventually go on to have adventures in the real world. Is that a reverse isekai or is it just an isekai?
Yeah. And then we've got the idea that the monsters are playing Dungeons and Dragons, so they role play our real life.
Yes, humans in households
Yes.
is the common name used for that. I think there's even a human in households game out there somewhere.
Now we're getting into Inception's level of media deconstruction.
Yeah, okay. I'm playing this dragon who's playing humans in households. Playing a human.
Yeah. So, understanding the media and you're allowed to have fun with it.
And my human is going to play a video game.
Well, my human has spent 8 hours at this job, and they were cursed out by their boss. So I would like to perform a relaxation check by playing a massive multiplayer online game. Except I'm now getting hassled by noobs. I do not get to relax.
You forgot to take out the trash. Quick, roll to avoid an argument.
Can I do stealth as opposed to diplomacy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna hide from my problems.
I do enjoy isekai in role-playing games, especially when it takes you out of your expectations.
Yes.
You go into the Feywild and your character has to relearn physics.
Yeah.
And lore and all these other things that weren't a part of your story. I played a isekai that was The Darkest House, and you play it online. And it is designed that you can take, you're supposed to have your already existing characters, people that you're playing, and we drop them into this haunted house from the 1940s, I think. And they got to, and it doesn't matter which role-playing game you're coming from.
Yeah.
You can be a sci-fi, you can be a Cthulhu, you can have a historical. I recommend Cthulhu, but I use my Dungeons and Dragons characters I put into it. And it, so you get to deal with objects that you have no words for. This little black box with steel wires coming off the top, or you think they're steel, it doesn't matter what they really are. And there are images on the thing. Little people trapped in this black box. And you want to freak out a D&D character? Deal with a ringing phone.
So, I've made this joke to you.
Yeah.
Okay. So, we have in Dungeons & Dragons the magic item sending stones.
Yeah.
Which is just it's a rock that you can talk to other people with.
Yeah, it's kind of more like an early BlackBerry.
Yeah.
Because it's really limited on how much talk you can do.
So what if your sending stone is sentient?
Then it argues with you.
Now it's a smartphone.
Oh God.
Now it's a smartphone.
He has been doing these world's worst role-playing game puns, which include computer games.
Yes. I do not apologize. But your original question to me was about fantasy.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring in some other fantasy that isn't isekai.
Okay.
Okay, because for me, for it to be fantasy, there needs to be some level of magic and or wonder.
Yeah.
And if we're bringing up magic, then we are dealing with a soft magic system or a hard magic system. And there's one anime that I absolutely love. It is a hard magic system. One of the things I like about hard magic systems is one, you get to be creative within the limitations, and you can think as opposed to like, oh, this is magic, can do whatever I want. But if you have the rules, you can play with the rules. And this one anime has very defined rules, but they didn't make that the plot. The plot is so much bigger.
Right.
Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Full Metal Alchemist is awesome, and it does have hard rules for their magic system that can be incorporated into a role-playing game so easily.
Yeah.
Now, role-playing game, I'm not sure if you call this hard or soft magic, but it has definitive rules for the magic system. Is Ars Magica, or also Mage, the Ascending.
The Ascension.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not familiar enough with Mage the Ascension. I'm more familiar with Vampire the Masquerade and
well, it's the same world.
Yeah, it's the same World of Darkness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the key aspects of their magic system is, yes, you can do anything you can think of with your spells. How many mana points it takes depends on the power level and stuff like that. The problem is there are the gods of paradox, or the sentient monsters of paradox that will come after you for breaking the veil. So if I want a fireball to blow up a car, what I really want to do is have a gas line leak that happens to explode as the car goes over.
Yeah.
Things that can be explained away by science do not create paradox. The less that you can explain away by science, the more paradox there is.
Interesting. So this is a scenario where it would actually benefit you to know quite a bit about science to be in magic.
Yeah. There's a phrase I came up with after reading one of the books way back in the 70s, and it's The Mathematics of Magic. And understanding how magic works and what the consequences of. You remember the show or the comic book called, it has a monkey, a giant spaceman who's part ape, the person who plays the violin.
That is not
ringing a bell.
No.
Umbrella Academy.
Yeah, I haven't seen Umbrella Academy.
Do you know of the manga?
I know about the comic book, yes.
Okay. You haven't read it?
I haven't.
Yeah, and it is a comic book, not a manga. It's a Western.
Yeah.
Not Wild West Western, just not the East.
Yeah.
Anyways, there is a character, and her name is Rumor.
Yeah.
And all she has to say is, I heard a rumor. And then whatever she says after that comes true. Oh, I heard a rumor that make of a pistol had a flaw with the firing pin, causing them to explode. And when the person pulls the trigger, it explodes.
Yeah.
I heard a rumor that you've got really bad arthritis in your knees to the point that you can barely walk. Ow, ow, ow! So that's a little bit like how the magic system works. It has to make sense.
Yeah, there has to be some level of plausibility.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If the normies can shrug it off as a natural event or even implausible, but implausible is not impossible.
Yeah.
If I say, for the fireball example, that a big ball of fire comes falling out of the sky and destroys your car, I had better have a meteorite behind that. Or I can just say, oh, it's too bad that car has a gas leak and is going to explode at the next spark.
I feel like I have one that it's kind of like a one-off of I can't come up with anything better. Okay, but it's one of those where like, yeah, there's this thing that happened in real life, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And we know how it started. We don't know how it ended. There was an explosion that sent not a hubcap, a manhole cover.
Oh, I think I know where you're going.
Yeah. Well, I mean, where did it land? Boom!
Right.
What just happened? A manhole cover landed. Where did that come from? This event.
Yeah. But that was 200 years ago.
Yeah.
It's been orbiting the planet.
Yeah, it's been orbiting, and it just finally came back to. People do generally believe that either they believe that if it survived exiting the atmosphere, that it absolutely had the speed to exit our atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but there's there's also the argument that in its attempt to go that far, it may have just disintegrated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the heat from exit as well as entry is significant.
Yeah. If you've ever seen re-entry of the space shuttle, that's just air. Air is causing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's friction.
That's
from
just
air
friction.
molecules rubbing on the ship and causing the oxygen to burn.
Yeah. And heating up. I believe those are specifically made ceramic tiles.
Yeah.
That are specifically designed to be able to withstand that heat, and it is glowing hot.
And I also believe that those tiles have to be replaced after every re-entry.
I don't know enough to be able to say.
Me neither.
Yeah.
I heard a rumor.
You heard a rumor? That's where my taxes are going up. That's why NASA is being defunded. They have to replace the tiles every single time.
Yeah.
Although I do feel like every single time they have to at least inspect them.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
So those are the kind of shows. There are others like Arcane.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Arcane was so good.
Based on a video game.
Mm-hmm.
And the anime is better than the video game, in my personal opinion.
Well, yeah, because the writing is better and more concise in the. I'm not even sure I can call that an anime. Just it cartoon.
Well, I would call it animation.
It's in the animation. That and
the fact that they used multiple styles of animation, everything from hand drawn to computer.
Oh yeah, it was very very well done. That and I didn't have to deal with that just very toxic lobby.
Yeah.
Yeah. League of Legends has some issues.
Yeah. Speaking of League of Legends, you told a joke earlier.
Yeah,
today.
I did. Do you want me to have the rest of them suffer?
Just for that one joke.
Okay. So we have two elite video gamers talking about their experiences with video games. The first one, oh, you play WoW. Lol. The other one, oh, you play LOL. Wow.
And if you don't understand that joke, that's World of Warcraft and League of Legends.
Yes. If they come up with a massive multiplayer online game that is LMAO, then we've lost it.
Oh no, I think the next massive game should be um, AFK,
AFK.
away from keyboard.
I believe there is a video game that references AFK, but it's an idle game. Yeah. Yeah. But you don't always have to go like high fantasy when it comes to the fantasy. You don't have to have like high magic and everything, and everything's every spell could possibly end the world.
Old fairy tales.
Yeah.
Um, there's also been stories where it's basically kitchen magic level, um, where the magic is subtle.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't have, if you were making a show off of it, it would not be, you won't need much of a budget for special effects.
This would be like, and this is something that I'm familiar with, where you're familiar with especially the Scottish play.
Yes.
There is a specific line talking about, from the three witches, the three crones.
Yeah.
Toil and Trouble.
Yeah.
Where it sounds like the concoction, the recipe for a brew of some sort, but every single one of them has real world parallels to,
alchemy.
To not just alchemy, but we can point out just about every single one of the things. For example, I've Newt is mustard seed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The concept of using actual Eye of Newt in a spell is not totally real. You could probably come up with a spell to use it in using sympathetic magic.
Yeah.
But when you're brewing something and you are using old world tactics to make a potion, then you're going to be dealing with a lot of herbs.
Yes.
And I don't want everybody to know these how to make my potions, so I'm going to use code words that only fellow practitioners are going to understand.
Or, and this is where I feel some of it may have come from, is we are trying to, we're trying to keep the family recipe. So we use in family in jokes.
Right.
Yeah. Or you reference something that only if you're familiar with the joke that's happening in the family do you know why we're calling it that.
There's a show I watched and I can't. All right, I remember. Dark Winds.
Okay.
Dark Winds is based on the Hillerman novels about Joe. He's a detective in 1970s Navajo country.
Yeah.
He's part of the Navajo police.
Okay.
And in his books, as well as in the show, that it leaves you questioning whether or not the magic is real.
Nice.
Now, the television show Dark Winds, it is definitely.
Okay.
I mean, it's more than it's the implication is more towards actual magic.
Yeah.
But the books, you go through the whole story, and there's elements of magic and monsters, and it leaves enough question: was any of this real?
Yeah.
Yes, there was somebody who thought they were hexed. Yeah. Yes, they have burned down their house because there was a dead body in it. Yes, they believe in Loup Garou, which is actually the skinwalkers,
Yeah.
and witch doctors.
Mm-hmm.
But whether it's actually magical
Yeah.
or just belief,
Mm-hmm.
it trots that line where you can go either side easy.
And that's one of the things that like I like it when there is when stories make you work for the plot, make you
Right.
work for the ideas. They don't treat you like
Children.
like you're an idiot. And when it comes to certain adaptations, because you're talking about the novel effectively series
Yeah.
converted over to film and media.
Yeah. If, in this case, television.
Yeah, they lost that aspect to it, and I feel like what you're describing is an important aspect of it.
If you're watching the television show
Mm-hmm.
and have not read any of the books, you won't know who or what is actually happening.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you don't know the difference. You don't realize that this implied magic, and it's not as implied. You see the effects of spells. You see the omens.
Yeah.
So the implication that the magic is real, as opposed to the implication that magic might be real.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I feel like, for me, more than being accurate, 100% accurate to the plot, you need to be, especially when converting media, you have to be accurate to the spirit of the original.
And it's such a much more visual medium.
Yeah.
That it doesn't have the kick that the book will have.
Yeah.
If you don't show the magic.
Yeah, and I feel as a consumer of let's use comic books here, okay? I've been a fan of comic books for quite a number of years, and I feel like I was one of the few people when the first X-Men movie came out. I was disappointed with it. That wasn't X-Men for me.
Right.
Because I felt like they didn't care who these characters were. Because one, we had
they got better.
Oh, I know they got better, but the what happened in that movie, just the very first one,
right,
had ramifications, even in the comic books. Because in that movie, they revealed, and this is a huge problem that I had, they revealed what Rogue's real name was. This is a secret that had been going on for decades in the comic books.
Yeah. And not decades in the storyline, but decades in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anne-Marie, Rogue, didn't know who she was. That was a part of it. And they just ruined it.
Yeah, I can see where that's disappointing to somebody who actually knows the story.
Yeah.
I want to give you another example of a television show where the magic is implied that it might be real.
Yeah.
It's called The Good Witch.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, it's not a Hallmark, but it's in that genre of Hallmarks and
feel good, feel safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't see sparkles coming off from her fingers. There are effects that suggest that her spells are working.
Yeah.
But it's also, some of the effects are her persuasion and her personality. There is a web comic that I am reading, and it's called How to Be a Mind Flayer.
Yeah.
This is a good illithid.
Yes, I've seen a few of its comics, and I
enjoy
collection
right now.
I thoroughly enjoy it. I thoroughly enjoy it. For example, there's an example of there is an elf and she's captured, and the illithid comes by and she thinks that she's gonna be consumed or whatnot. And no, it's just like, you're sick. Let's get you better.
Here, let's get you to Makoku. You're wearing inappropriate clothes for here. Let me conjure up some clothes. But the reason I bring that up, and for the implied or subtle magic,
Yeah.
the magic is real.
Yes.
The monsters are real. He can cast hold person on somebody and actually hold them in the air. But most of his teachings to his student.
He does have a student.
Yeah. What is the word he uses? It's mind control. I'm going to teach you mind control.
Yeah.
And his mind control are things that you, as a real world person, can do.
Yeah.
Like giving somebody a compliment. See, you magically increased their level of happiness.
Yes.
I got to clear out this rubble from a cave. I'm just going to put a few pieces of treasure to imply that there might be more behind it.
Yeah. And, adventurers come by like, oh, look, and they clear it out.
Yeah.
That's actually, I haven't been able to use this yet, but it's one of the bags of, one of my tricks that I have in the back of my head.
Yeah.
For Dungeons and Dragons, right? And I know we're a bit over, but this will be the last thing, right?
Okay.
Let's say that I need to cast, or I want to cast Detect Thoughts. Now, the way Detect Thoughts works is it only reads surface thoughts.
Right.
Okay. If you try going deeper, they may register that
invasion.
The invasion. But if you're just doing surface thoughts, you're getting a whole lot of clutter. There are ways in real life to get thoughts to the surface. So if I tell you, don't think about blue dolphins.
Yes, that's the pink polka dotted elephants. And these tricks are used in the real world by a group of people called mentalists.
Yeah. So if I have one player casting Detect Thoughts, and say two other characters, allies, whatever, let's say that we're in a guard room or there's guards nearby, and they're talking about something that we need information on.
Yeah, I really wonder what the combination to the safe is.
Or no, don't make it obvious.
Yeah.
Have them joking about how dumb their passwords are.
Right?
Yeah. Like your password is 1234. I gotta change the password on my luggage too. Now, anyone who can hear that is like, passwords. And someone who has a password for that combination, maybe that comes to their head.
Yeah.
And that doesn't require a check. Maybe a deception check, from the bard, which is going to be a lot higher than them passing. Passing the spell, the spell DC.
Yeah, I know this is going over, but I've had too many players who want to be in a conversation with somebody and get sneak attack or a surprise attack because, we're just having a conversation and then I stabbed him. I'm making it that you need to roll bluff
or deception.
Deception versus their insight.
Yeah.
And then if you succeed, then you get your sneak attack.
Yeah.
If you don't succeed, they notice the attack before it hits them.
Yeah, because there's one thing to be talking, and another thing to okay, I'm talking and I'm figuring out where, and the person who's watching is like, you seem awfully distracted. You look like you're sizing me up. Yeah. So, what do we have after this?
Oh, we're going to talk about historical perspectives, building blocks of role-playing games.
Yes.
We are going to go back, way back in the time machine, and talk about things that had to be there first.
Yes.
Before role-playing games became a genre.
Mm-hmm. And along the way, I'm pretty sure we're going to stop by and like stop and notice certain things that it may not have had to be there, but it's interesting to know.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm thinking of a couple of sisters right now.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure Gygax didn't know about this.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that these weren't examples of what Gygax eventually did, whether he knew about it or not.
Yeah. So,
after these messages, we'll be right back.
Welcome back to the RPG Talk Show. We are going into our main topic today, which is the history of role-playing games.
Well, it's the historical perspective, the building blocks of role-playing games. If I wanted to start with the invention of role-playing games, then we would be starting in 1974.
Yeah.
Or with the first published role-playing game. There are examples that kind of lean towards these concepts beforehand. Some people want to say that Dave Arneson invented Dungeons and Dragons more than Gary Gygax, even though Gary Gygax gets top billing.
Yeah. I do want to say that Dave Arneson at the very least added quite a bit into the role-playing aspect of it. Whereas I think Gary Gygax was more on the wargaming side.
Yeah, he was more the mechanics person. He was not an auditor.
Insurance adjuster.
Yeah, he was an insurance adjuster. And so graphs and
tables.
Graphs and tables was his thing. But yeah, can you imagine if back in 1974, Gary Gygax had access to what is that called?
Excel. And this is coming from one. I genuinely enjoy using spreadsheets. No, there is a limit to the insanity.
You think so? I mean, come on. What is that called? Iron Kingdom? No. It's one of the earlier games. And it is just charts.
Just charts.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're talking to someone who, because I was bored and it's something that I really wanted to do, I, in a spreadsheet, created let's just call it a Pokedex, a list of every single Pokemon with all their possible moves, just so that I can theory craft my own teams and how to build them, including how to train them.
Right.
Yeah, and I did all of that from scratch. I know my spreadsheets.
Yeah, you did a nice spreadsheet for me.
Thank you.
For my Saturday game. But let's go back. Dungeons & Dragons was not invented whole cloth.
No, it wasn't.
It had lots of things that led up to it. And there are things that directly influenced him. And there are things that
indirectly influenced it.
Indirectly, he might not even be aware that this was influential. For example, war games.
Yeah. It was a direct influence.
Was a direct influence, but he may not have been aware of the first war games.
Yeah. So, did you want to do this, starting at the beginning and going forward, or did you want to start from D&D and work your way backwards?
I'm going to actually start at the beginning. So chronological order.
Okay.
So we're talking 10th century.
Oh, we're going that far back.
Actually, we're talking 6th century.
Okay.
Let's go back even farther. 601 to 700 Common Era. There was a game called Chaturanga. And it was an Indian game.
Okay.
This game was the precursor to modern chess.
Yeah.
Which was 10th century, 901 to 1000 CE. So the Muslims were playing chess the Indians were playing the precursor to it. The Muslims were playing the actual game of chess that spread around the world and is still played profusely today.
Yes.
And you're thinking, what's chess have to do with role-playing games?
Well, chess is a war game.
It is a war game.
Well, it's a war simulation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a game about war.
Yes, it is.
And now, the next thing happened in the late medieval age.
Mm-hmm.
And the late medieval age has a definitive time period.
Yeah.
That's from 1300 to 1453 Common Era, where we had medieval tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
Now, these medieval tournaments, the knights were taking on Dungeons and Dragons. No, they weren't taking on Dungeons and Dragons. They were taking on roles.
Well, there were dungeons, and there were beliefs of dragons.
Yeah. Tournaments became theatrical live-action events where knights dressed as Arthurian characters and assumed their personas.
Okay.
So, later on, we'll get up to another group who will deny their linkage. But we will talk about them when we get to that.
Now, you said, what year? I want to double-check something.
What year for late medieval period?
Yeah.
Well, that was 1300 to 1453. It's considered the late medieval.
Okay, because you invoked Arthur.
Yes, Arthur predates.
Yeah,
late
and
medieval.
I was double-checking the person who is the who Arthur is based off of.
Wasn't that first or second CE?
Well, that was 748 Common Era.
Yeah, that's the first century.
Yeah. Charlemagne. Yeah.
Now, in the 1500s, we had what's called Commedia dell'arte.
Okay.
Now, these are theatrical and historical performances that influenced role-playing games or had elements of role-playing games.
Yeah.
So in the 1500s, traveling actors improvised lines and embodied specific character archetypes, emphasizing character-driven storytelling over rigid rules.
Yeah. Actually, I'm going to have us reverse a bit.
It's kind of like improv.
Yeah. Because effectively you're talking about historical reenactments.
Historical reenactments and, well, Commedia dell'arte was not a historical reenactment. It was a theatrical improv with specific characters and character archetypes.
Right. So, taking the idea of, I'm going to say, roll it back actually even probably before the first century. Okay. Back in ancient Rome, we had gladiator rings, and didn't they reenact battles?
They did.
Yeah.
But when they reenact battles, most of them weren't playing specific characters. They were, even though they were obviously specific people, they were just divided Gauls versus the Germans or whatever. So it was this side of the army, that side of the army. Just kind of like doing Napoleonic War.
Yeah, but you can see the connection.
I can see where people were acting up these different things. Plus, is it acting if you actually die?
Well, when it comes to the gladiator arenas, well, one, gladiators were very well paid, and they, a lot of them, the lethality wasn't always there.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to keep the gladiators around.
Right. You know how expensive it is to train somebody up to fight that good?
Yeah.
Only to have to replace him in an hour of his first episode.
A lot of the gladiators were celebrities. So, yeah, there's a whole, kill them or not, but a lot of times it was, okay, they defeated them, but Kind of like, wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Outcomes were predetermined.
right. Stay on script. Get your paycheck, and head back into the pens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bred in circuses. In this case, the circuses being the gladiator arena.
Yes.
All right. So yeah, that's that predates Common Era.
Yeah, it does.
That's before the Common Era. So skipping way ahead, approximately 326 years later, we had the Bronte sisters.
Yes. I believe they wrote a couple of books.
Oh.
Yeah.
You think so?
I think so.
All right. Well, let's see if we know of any of the books that they may have written. Let's see. Jane Eyre?
Is it Eyre, or I've always pronounced it Jane Eyre.
Eyre.
I pronounce that Jane Eyre.
Oh, that's probably correct.
Yeah.
It looks like Eyre to me, but I don't know. So that was Charlotte
Bronte.
And Emily Bronte wrote Wuthering Heights.
Okay.
They also, way back, and I have an actual date for this. Because there's an article in Dicebreakers about this. 1845, 2 years before Wuthering Heights was put, Emily Bronte shared a train trip to York with her sister Anne, who was 2 years out of publishing her first novel, Agnes Grey. They were playing a game that they loved since childhood, but I have an actual date here, I think, of when the Bronte sisters did this. The year was 1826.
1826. Okay.
So in 1826, their father gave their brother, Brandon, toy figures.
Yeah, toy soldiers.
And he shared them with his sisters. And they created let pretend games with these things, but they had more role playing. The Brontes, fantasy conflicts, and Branwell's, not Brandon. Tracing the origin game to 19 years before the train trip. Father of the Brontes brought home a box of toy soldiers. This was the beginning of their saga, and they would act out early stories using these as props on the moors. They would also act stories out in the parsonage where they lived, be it in bed or around the fireplace. And there were 12 toy soldiers, but they created miniature books for every one of the characters. And the idea of these books was that they were on scale with the toy soldier.
Yeah.
Which is why they were excessively small. And they were written with really fine writing instruments. You would have to use a magnifying glass, or at least I would, to get any reads. They had maps. They had entire worlds that they created, like the map of Glasstown Confederacy, drawn by Branwell Bronte, would not look. You just add hexes to it, and it would be a map that you would use.
So we have with the Bronte family, not just the sisters, because we have the brother involved as well. We have role playing with miniatures, miniature building, and map building.
Oh, they were doing world building.
And world building.
The characters had luxuriant fantasy names. Rosabella Ergmont is your next tiefling rogue. and told stories of dramatic escapes, revolutions. Part of the ongoing saga started the older siblings.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see if I can find the names of some of these places. Oh, so here's the names of the characters.
Yeah.
Ronald McCain, Henry Angora,
Mm-hmm.
Juliet Angostina, Rosabella Ergamont, Ellie and Julian Ergamont, Rosabella, Ella, and Julian Ergamont,
Mm-hmm.
Catherine Nevere, and Cordelia Fitzfunnelled, and they were escaping from the palace of instruction to join the royalists who were driven present by the victorious Republicans, well before American Republicans. And let's see, they had names of their places besides Glasstown. Oh, here we go. Their choice soldiers were Bonaparte, Gravy, Waiting Boy, and the Duke of Wellington. I know I have it here. I don't really need to get into it, but they created their own worlds.
Yeah.
And they were written in English. Blackwood's Young Guns magazine, edited by the genius, printed by Captain Tree, and sold by Captain Carey Cinema. And I think this is an actual scale of the book.
Okay. And then on. Oh, there we go. Wow, that's small.
Yeah. They just went back there. Oh, here's a manuscript of poems set in the fictional world of Gondal.
Nice.
So, yeah, they had character sheets, journals, fictional worlds, maps.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't have rules per se, but it was definitively something that resembled early role-playing games.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have an idea, but first, who was the creator of Little Wars again?
Little Wars, that comes a bit later. That is H.G. Wells.
There's the name. I was getting him confused with Jules Verne.
Well, I can see why. They wrote about the same time. The fact that H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds was written in 1860, where trains and telegraphs were all the rage, would confuse most people.
Yeah.
All right. So after the Bronte sisters, we go back to war games. 1824, Kriegspiel.
Yes.
And there was another one called
Königsspiel.
Definitely means the King's game.
Yeah.
After that, we get back up into 1837 to 1901, which is the Victoria era, and they had parlor games like Consequences.
Yeah.
Guess what?
What?
You could actually get the rules of Consequences. Game played with 19th century England among the literary and elite circles, originating from the heart of 19th century England. Consequences emerged as a favored parlor game among the literary and elite circles. The game reflected the era's values and aspirations. The game can be played with multiple players sitting in a group. It captures the imagination of players, but it also has how to play rules.
Nice.
You can actually get this and do it. It has unfolding narratives. And the starting of it begins with Once Upon a Time or In a Galaxy Far, Far,
Far
Away.
away.
Uh, and it is a basic role-playing game.
Hmm.
No mathematical dice rolling or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
But the fact that it is
It's cooperative
out there.
improv.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Parlor games in Victoria, some of them were ones that you played.
Hmm.
I mean, everybody that I know of played Blind Man's Bluff.
I've never played that.
What?
I've never played Blind Man's Bluff.
Okay, I'm old. Or how about 20 questions?
Isn't that you're thinking about something and you have to get the answer within 20 questions?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that I played.
Musical chairs.
I played.
Snapdragon was one of their games.
I haven't played Snapdragon.
Well, you shouldn't have, because it's you light brandy on fire and you're supposed to try to snatch the raisins from the burning brandy and put out the fire with your mouth.
Okay. Yeah, I can see how that could be a problem. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sounds like a frat game.
Yeah. Yeah, as if, some of the other frat games aren't problematic enough.
Yeah. But Consequences was the one that was closest to role playing, and you can still get the rules today.
Okay. Okay.
After that, we get back to Little Wars, 1913.
Yeah.
And you can buy those books.
Mm-hmm.
These were wooden soldiers. I think you either had to buy them from people or make your own.
Yeah.
And these were functioning catapults and tanks, not tanks, cannons.
Yeah.
And it was designed for little boys and elite girls.
Now, I do want to point out that because I'm somewhat familiar with Little Wars, and one of these specific distinctions with Little Wars is it was the first war game that was accessible to the public.
Yes, Kriegspiel King's Game was part because the kings and the court played these games.
Yeah.
The average person in...
The riffraff weren't playing this.
Yeah. The average person in 1824 was working.
Yeah.
A middle-class person would be like the merchants, but they didn't have time for games. Yeah. Leisure was not a big thing, really, until... for the average person, the industrial age.
Yeah.
So and another odd thing about Little Wars is that it was written by a pacifist.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. After that, 1937, there was a game called Jury Box.
Okay. This one I'm not familiar with.
Jury Box, you play the role of the jurors. And you're given a scenario and pieces of evidence that happened in the courtroom.
Yeah.
And you play the characters of the jury trying to decide whether or not they're guilty or not.
This feels very much kind of like, have you ever played... There's a category of board games where, you're around and you're drinking and you're playing the games like, there is, I don't want to say 20 questions because we just mentioned that. Like Taboo, Cards Against Humanity, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this feels very much in that vein.
Consequence involved collective storytelling. Jury Box 1937 required players to act as jurors and interpret evidence for fictional cases.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they came in the box.
I'm fairly certain that after you get through the box, you can start coming up with your own.
Right.
Yeah.
So 1967, we had a game called Modern War,
Okay.
and it was a miniature game.
I feel like that's like Little Wars, second edition.
It was by Michael Korn, emphasized dialogue between players and referees. This was a subgenre of war games called war game individualization, and it was from 1960 to 1970. Several war games began focusing on individual units.
And I'm guessing by units we're talking about like a specific soldier as opposed to like a squad of 5 people.
Right. So that really didn't occur until 1966 with Modern War. But at the same time, in 1966, was the Society for Creative Anachronism.
Okay.
Where you play a character, a persona. But the SCA hates the concept of being referred to as a LARP.
Yeah.
Even though you play these characters, you go through societal challenges. For example, there's a king and a queen, and you have your place in court.
Yeah.
And through good works or whatever, you can move up. All of these things. No, there's no experience points.
Yeah.
The combat is as real as you can get without dying. You're going to wear real armor or pickle barrel armor. So armor that's made to look real, but it's made of thick plastic.
Yeah.
And it has the elements of a LARP.
Yeah.
Without the, again, mathematical rules. The rules for combat is I hit you, it hurts.
Yeah. I can understand why they'd be hesitant to associate themselves with LARP, because unfortunately we live in a society where LARP is used as a derogatory term.
Yeah, I think it's getting better as more and more people are coming out about it.
Yeah.
And there's scientific papers written on it.
Yeah, but we're also dealing with it, and this is where I'm normally seeing it being used in a derogatory term. It's not people who play LARP. It's people who are using it as a derogatory term. For example, this is where I've seen it a lot. I'm watching the news, and they'll show some protesters or people who are deciding to have some type of thing, and they have shields, and they're like, yeah, they're LARPing, and they're using it to describe someone who is playing a part but doesn't understand the significance of what they're doing, or the significance of that part that they're doing.
I know for a fact that people in those situations are wearing the armor or carrying shields for practical purposes.
Yeah.
They actually are trying to protect themselves, not to play a persona.
Yeah.
I've seen people go to these things in bike armor. I've seen people in practical SWAT gear to be on the protester sides.
Yeah.
And I've seen people that probably are parts of the SCA, but they have actual armor to protect them from pepper balls and clubs.
Yeah. If anything, I've seen someone, the term LARPing being used as pretending to have legitimacy, pretending as if you have legitimacy.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the people who some reason think that George Soros is paying all the protesters.
Yeah.
So it doesn't happen.
Yeah, I feel this because last week we were talking about stereotypes. This is one that we should have brought up.
Yeah, it is a stereotype that people who play video games and tabletop role-playing games, well, at least they're not LARPers.
Yeah.
And yeah, I do definitely want to shy away from the political side we got there.
Yeah.
But it is a fact of the world
Mhm.
that people do show up to protest with protective armor on.
Yeah. And, it is an aspect of the subcultures that we're in that there does seem to be a bit of a pecking order.
Yeah.
Yeah, video gamers are higher than people who play tabletop. Tabletop people, at least we're not LARPers. LARPers, at least we're not furries.
Right.
And mind you, no shade to any of them. I've met furries. I'm happy to associate with furries. I'm a self-admitted LARPer. And I play tabletops and I play video games. I'm as bad as I can.
Well, when it comes to furries, my immediate concern about these individuals is, are you drinking enough water?
Yeah, it gets hot in those suits, and that's not because I'm a fursuit. No, I've had a job, and a very unfortunate job, where I had to be in a Snoopy costume.
You can't actually be a fursuit. You could be a person that wears a fursuit.
You know what I mean. Fursuit being the people who, wear them. Anyway, I've been in a Snoopy costume, and Snoopy costume in Florida, in that heat and in that humidity.
Yeah.
Oh God, that was brutal. Yeah, and there was no amount of dry cleaning that was going to get that smell out.
No.
No. Mm-mm. No.
So 1967 to 1969,
Yeah.
we had Bronstein. This was played at conventions,
Mm-hmm.
created by David Wellesley, widely considered the first proto-RPG. So I think the Bronte sisters kind of win on that one.
Well, it depends. This is Brownstone?
It's Brownstein, which means brownstone.
Yeah. Did it have a randomization factor?
I can't answer that question.
Okay.
I didn't go down that part of the rabbit hole far enough.
Okay.
But I do know it was moved from commanding armies to having players take on individual roles, such as town officials or revolutionaries in a fictional town. Whether or not it had random elements to it or not, I can't answer that specifically. But it didn't have. You had a referee who decided what happened, as opposed to things. But it's getting there. It's almost a LARP.
It's almost a LARP.
Yeah. 1970, Blackmore, developed by Dave Arneson. Campaign used Wellesley's Bronstein concepts.
Okay.
And Gary Gygax's chainmail rules. So 1971 is when he obviously added the chainmail rules, introduced modern hallmarks like dungeon crawls, hit points, and leveling up. Chainmail was one of the first role-playing games, not role-playing games, medieval war game that included fantasy elements as a one-page supplement that was in there. And so
it's quite a popular supplement.
Yeah, if you cross Bronstein with chainmail, you get Blackmore.
Yeah.
Where the story was. The timing of these things are in a little bit of a debate.
Yeah.
Because there are debating whether Dave Arneson invented role-playing games or Gary Gygax invented role-playing games.
Yeah.
Chainmail was Gary Gygax and Jeff Perrin. Dungeons and Dragons, the original in 1974, was Gary Gygax and Dave Arneson.
Yeah. And I want to say, when it comes to, and this is what we have to go by, because intentions and whatnot are all good and well, but in terms of publication dates, Blackmore comes in at 1975.
Yes.
Yeah, 1 year after Dungeons and Dragons is published.
Right. Just because people were playing it doesn't mean it was available for sale or anywhere.
Right.
And when we look at Dungeons and Dragons being the first published role-playing game, it doesn't matter how close you got to being Dungeons and Dragons. If you had published it first, maybe it would have been.
Yeah.
But there's some argument about that, too. 1972. Okay, 1971 is when Chainmail came out.
Yeah.
1972, Arneson started to run the first Blackmore campaign, incorporating many elements that would become standard in Dungeons and Dragons, as I just mentioned. That there in 1972 there was a board game, and I believe Hawk has a copy of it. I used to have a copy of it.
Yeah.
It was called Outdoor Adventure.
Yeah.
Now, when I had the game, I thought, oh, wow, this would be great to play Dungeons and Dragons with, not realizing that it was considered a necessary part of playing Dungeons and Dragons. So that came out in 1972. And in 1973, Gary Gygax and Arneson formulated their ideas and started writing the game rules for D&D.
Yeah.
1974, I forgot to mention, back in 1970, Western Gunfight Wargame Rules and the Battle of Pelennor Fields were part of the Wargame individualization. Fight in the Skies had World War I pilots with persistent careers. And Western Gunfight Wargame Rules attempted to catch the narrative feel of Western films.
Okay.
So, again, there were things that were getting close, but they weren't RPGs yet.
Yeah.
They were war games with RPG elements. 1974. The original Dungeons & Dragons is published by TSR.
Yeah.
And the required elements to play Dungeons & Dragons is you had to have a copy of Chainmail and Outdoor Survival. Outdoor Survival for the wilderness stuff. Chainmail
for the dungeon stuff.
For, well, the combat stuff. And so if you have a copy of the original Dungeons and Dragons and you try to play Dungeons and Dragons with the original Dungeons and Dragons rules, you really can't. You have to have the war game and this board game to fill in a lot of the rules. The first module written, I don't remember the date, but it was soon after 1974, was The Vampire Queen.
Okay.
And it was written for the original Dungeons and Dragons. And trust me, it just looks like a bunch of charts. I mean, I know there's a story in there, but it's more charts than anything else. So, 1977. I've been saying 1979 was when I joined, but I think it might have been 1977 because I was given the basic Dungeons and Dragons set, and I believe it was the Eric Holmes version.
Okay.
Advanced Dungeons and Dragons also came out in 1977 over a 3-year period. Monster Manual in 1977, Player's Handbook in 1978, and the Dungeon Master's Guide in 1979. And then there's more history of other role-playing games, but the original published role-playing game was invented in 1974, and I was like 5.
Okay, yeah.
And let's see, 5 plus 3. I was 8 years old when I got my first Dungeons and Dragons set.
Okay. Now I know that after that we've got an explosion of role-playing games in the United States,
right,
and the Western world.
Call of Cthulhu being one of the earliest ones.
Do you know when Call of Cthulhu was first published?
Let me check. Meanwhile, while I'm looking this up, why don't you tell us about what was happening in the East.
So in the East, we have well, in 1983, we have the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon.
Yes.
Yes. This is significant because we've got honestly, a lot of cartoons. How should I put it? Especially during that time, the ideas are here in the West, but a lot of it is animated over in the East.
Yes.
Yeah. So, for example, Thundercats, very much considered a Western show, but the animation's over in, I think, in Korea, for example. 1986, we have Record of Lotus Wars, which is the manga.
Right, go ahead and show the for anybody who just comes for the just chatting part.
Yeah.
This is the record of
This
Lotus
is the Record of Lotus Wars, this is the anime. Do they even list when this was published?
Call of Cthulhu, 1981.
1981. So 2 years before the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon. 2 years after Record of Lotus Wars, the manga, we have a video game, Record of Lotus Wars. Now, Record of Lotus Wars is based off of, very much like Blackmore, they had their own fantasy world building that they were doing, but it was very much influenced by Dungeons and Dragons. Eventually, they start codifying Record of Lotus Wars into its own role-playing game.
Right. Sword World.
And that is Sword World, which is 1989. I originally thought that there was a connection between Dungeons and Dragons, the video game, and Record of Lotus Wars. But in 1988, there is a video game called Record of Lotus Wars. I didn't see any direct connection between that and Dungeons and Dragons because I thought I know that Capcom did a Dungeons and Dragons video game. They actually did two. And
Midway did one.
But the first one, which was, I believe, it's not Mystera.
No, I think it was set in Mystera.
Well, I don't think Mystera is in the name, but it is set in Mystera.
Yeah.
Which is, Greyhawk?
Yeah?
Yeah. The creator had to work with, Capcom, which is in Japan. But they weren't familiar with Dungeons and Dragons. So in them collaborating with a lot of that, effectively, I believe it influenced the Record of Lotus Wars.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of the design conceits and whatnot were going on with that video game. That basically this collaboration with between TSR and Capcom helps build Record of Lotus Wars, at least the video game.
Right.
Yeah. Which then leads to Sword World in 1989.
And is leading to the official American translation in 2026.
Yes. So there was role-playing games in Japan way back in 1989. A full at least a decade after it was here in the West. Yeah. So, what do we have after this? We have, we're not going to do any traps and riddles.
No, we're going to look into a new one. But I do want to point out something real fast. This is something most people don't talk about.
Okay.
What is the second published RPG? Any guesses?
The second published RPG?
Yep.
Ooh. Is it well known? I know it's not one of the big three. I know it's not Call of Cthulhu.
No.
And I know it's not Vampire the Masquerade or anything World of Darkness.
Well, they were big. One of them, I'm sure you've never even heard of.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's a subject to debate.
Okay.
Depends on whether published refers to amateur fan releases or a major commercial product. So in the fan releases, Rules to the Game of Dungeon, 1974. Historian John Peterson identifies this 18-page fan game by Craig Van Grassick as the second published RPG. It was released in the summer of 1974, shortly after the debut of Dungeons & Dragons.
Okay.
But the big ones came out in 1975. Tunnels and Trolls. And Empire of the Petal Throne.
Okay.
Now, which one of those came out
after the second? Which one in second place? We're not exactly sure.
Yeah. Which one of, as far as major role-playing games, who came out first, Tunnel and Trolls or Empire of the Petal Throne, is debated. And it's going to come down to, well, came out in March and you came out in April.
Yeah.
That type of thing.
5 months and possibly even days.
Yeah.
Okay.
So our next thing is we're going to do our unboxing. We're skipping the thing because I want to dig deep into this game. And
I believe it's a new, or at least somewhat new.
Well, it's a couple years old, actually.
A couple years? Okay.
Yeah, it's new to me.
I know it's new to me.
Yeah, it's called Daggerheart, and it's made by Darrington Press.
Yeah.
Which is a...
This is the people who did Critical Role.
Yeah, it is the people who did Critical Role. I'm trying to figure out what the title means of, imprint.
Yeah.
Daggerheart is an imprint of Critical Role.
Okay. So we will get to that after the jump. So after these messages, we'll be right back. Welcome back to the RPG Talk Show. We are going into our unboxing, and we have
a big one,
Daggerheart.
Now, Daggerheart is a relatively new game. It's only 2 years old, and by relatively new, you're talking about a guy who was alive when the first RPG was invented.
Yeah.
So that puts the context there. It's 2 years ago.
Yes. And what is the significance of Daggerheart for those who don't know?
Well, this was created by Darlington Press.
Yeah.
Who has other role-playing games, by the way.
Oh, they do.
There's like a Rivers of London type game out there.
Okay.
I don't remember the name right off the top of my head. But it is Dungeons and Dragons like. It is a fantasy RPG.
Yeah.
It's got different rules. For example, only the Dungeon Master rolls a die 20.
Okay.
The players roll 2 die 12. And they have to be different colors because one is the hope die and one is the fear die.
Okay.
And you spend hope to make things happen for the players, and the Dungeon Master uses fears to add complications.
So this is interesting because it comes in a sleeve, and there's this box area and a book area.
Yeah, it's like a box set, apparently.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure there's cards. Maybe there's dice in there, but I don't really know what's going to be in that box.
Yeah. So we have the book.
So the book was in a plastic, was in a sleeve with a plastic cover over it and is covered in plastic.
Yes. And we have this box.
Yeah. Well, show the cover.
It is nice. It is pretty.
It looks like Old Gods of Appalachia type art on that cover.
Yeah. And Daggerheart and Darrington Press is, you said, an imprint of Critical Role.
Yes. The very famous Let's
Play, live play.
Of Dungeons and Dragons. They've got 2 shows on Amazon.
Yeah, I would say that it is one of the most significant Let's Plays of Dungeons and Dragons because I think it really exploded the trend.
Yeah, it really helped 5th edition become popular.
Yeah, and there are cards in here.
Yes, those cards should be um, definitely used. I mean, there are cards for making your character.
Yeah.
There are cards for your race and other, like maybe your equipment and stuff.
Yeah. So I'm not going to get into that just yet. I just want to show what was inside. Let's get into the book.
So all that's in there is cards.
Yes.
No dice.
I did not see any dice. Let's double check.
I was hoping for dice.
You're always hoping for dice. You're a dice goblin.
Yeah. You make that sound like it's a bad thing.
No, it's an observation. You're a dice goblin. See?
Cards.
Anything underneath here?
That sounded like something rolled. Is there anything underneath?
Yeah, there is.
Air?
Air.
All right.
That sound you were hearing was the hopes that there were dice in there, you dice goblin.
Yeah, I'm sure you can get dice from somewhere that are Daggerheart specific, but what you need is two 12-sided dice of different colors.
Yes.
Preferably a yellow and a black.
And I came prepared. I have my my bag of Beware the Smiling Game Master dice.
Okay. So let's take a look at the book. I noticed this does not have, which I was hoping, a quick start adventure.
Yeah.
But there is a free one that you could get. And on where is that? Drive-Thru RPG.
Yeah.
You can get a quick start from there. That is free. There are also a GM screen. There is a solo game. Solo in the Sablewood Daggerheart compatible solo guide. There is different other options there, but the ones that are important to me would be like the previous quick start. You can print out character sheets.
Yeah.
I don't see any of the character sheets or anything like that, so I'm going to be printing things.
Yeah. Ooh, there are some maps. Starting from the back here. There we go. Now, I wanted to point out something, and this is just a bit of a meta commentary, because this came about, Daggerheart really took off during the recent OGL conflicts that was happening with Wizards of the Coast. And it seems like it's a constant thing, not just with the Dungeons & Dragons, but Daggerheart is considered, to some people, what would be a D&D killer. Something that is supposed to supplant Dungeons & Dragons as the #1 role-playing game.
I'm going to disagree with that concept. I don't think there is ever going to be such thing as a Dungeons & Dragons killer.
Yeah.
There will be things that will be more popular at the time. Pathfinder for a really short time.
Yes.
But it doesn't matter how popular your game is. You can even be more popular than Dungeons & Dragons. You will not kill Dungeons & Dragons.
And this is one of the things that I kind of wanted to point out. It's I'm genuinely am tired of those type of conversations, because I've seen it with Dungeons & Dragons, I've seen it with WoW, I've seen it with a bunch of other high-profile games, and yeah, there will be a segment of the community that is unhappy with where that product is, and they will be looking for the so-and-so killers, the WoW killers, the Dungeons & Dragons killers, and for me, it's kind of similar to the whole conversation between, who's the GOAT in basketball? Is it Michael Jordan or LeBron? If you have to compare them against someone else, you're not beating them.
True.
Yeah. If you have to compare this as, this is the Dungeons & Dragons killer, no, you're not. Because you're inherently comparing it to Dungeons & Dragons. You're not comparing, for example, Guild Wars to World of Warcraft to be the World of Warcraft killer. No, you're inherently comparing it to World of Warcraft, and it's not going to kill it. The only thing that's going to kill Dungeons & Dragons is Dungeons & Dragons. The only thing that's going to kill WoW is WoW.
Yes.
Yes.
So I agree wholeheartedly with that concept.
Mm-hmm. So, let's crack this thing open.
Creak!
We have some, by the way, we have some wonderful, right in here, bookmarks built in. Let's pull this out real quick. There we go. Looks like we've got two of them. We've got purple and yellow. Okay. Looks like they're on the same page. We'll see what page they're on. We also have some beautiful. I actually like that. They made it to feel like it's some type of fabric inside, which adds to the whole, feeling like a prop in your hands, which I've always vouched for. I love that. I love that. Feeling. If I want it to be a prop in my fantasy.
One of my favorite props.
Uh-huh.
The Book of Nod.
For those who are not familiar with it, what is the Book of Nod?
World of Warcraft book that was supposed to be written by the first vampire.
So we have Darrington Press credits, Daggerheart team credits. The first printing of this was 2025. So this isn't 2 years old. This is 1 year old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. In the content, table of contents. We have the introduction, preparing for adventure, playing an adventure, running an adventure, adversaries and environments, character frames, and the appendix. So let's go ahead and get into Welcome to Daggerheart. By the way, so far, absolutely beautiful art.
Yeah, this is kind of the anime style, I think. What do you think? What kind of style would you say this?
Art-wise? I wouldn't describe this as anime. Like, it is more of a modern style. There are certain stylistic aspects that, in the West here, that is pulling from old Western styles and Eastern styles. It's been a hybrid of them. So I can't necessarily say that it's one or the other when it's the amalgam of it.
Got it.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah, it is. It is definitely not Larry Elmore.
No.
But if you like it, then there's certain things like you've got slightly bigger hands, slightly bulkier weapons at times. Yeah, a little bit sometimes more fantastical. But that's okay. Preparing unless wow, these are short chapters at times. Okay, let's see here.
By the way, if you go to the Daggerheart website, you will find downloads. You will find videos to watch on how to play the game. There's a lot of things. And, there's a quick start pack that's there. And I have it as a PDF.
Yeah.
I was hoping a physical copy would be there. I heard people talking about last year. There was something for the free RPG day. Yeah. I don't know if there was. I'd have to check my collection. But they are promising a new one for 2026 on June 20th. It's called A Familiar Problem. One-page RPG of familiars on a mission for Darlington Press.
Okay. So, we have Welcome to Daggerheart. Daggerheart is a collaborative fantasy role-playing game of incredible magic and heroic adventure. During your journeys, you may find yourself rubbing elbows with nobles to investigate and stop an assassination plot, delving into an ancient dungeon to prevent an apocalyptic creature from breaking free, sailing across a vast ocean to face a terrifying sea monster, or preventing a precious relic from falling into the hands of a dangerous enemy. No matter the adventure your party embarks on, Daggerheart provides the tools to tell a story that is both heartfelt and epic. It goes into what is a role-playing game. After that, what kind of role-playing game is Daggerheart? I'm going to just skip over what a tabletop role-playing game is. I think we've explained that to death.
What?
Yeah. So Daggerheart is a heroic, narrative-focused experience that features combat as a prominent aspect of play. The system facilitates emotionally engaging, player-driven stories punctuated by exciting battles and harrowing challenges. That just explains to me just another fantasy role-playing game. The game takes a fiction-first approach, encouraging players and game masters, GMs, to act in good faith with one another and focus on the story they're telling rather than the complexity of the mechanics. So what that tells me is this is going rules light to a certain degree. The rules provide structure when it is unclear how actions or moments will resolve within that story. The system takes a free-flowing approach to combat to avoid slowing the game down with granular rounds, and it doesn't rely on grid-based movement for maps and minis. These aspects coalesce to create a game that allows for the terrain and map building that miniature-based systems are known for, while facilitating a streamlined narrative experience for players. If you're looking for a TTRPG that tells a heroic fantasy stories with a modern approach to mechanics, focusing on both epic battles and emotional narratives of the player who fight in them, you've come to the right place. Daggerheart also utilizes a asymmetrical design, meaning that it plays differently for the game master than it does for the players. Players roll two 12-sided dice for their PC standard actions, including their attacks. The GM, game master, can make most moves without dice, but they roll a 20-sided die for adversary moves that require a roll. This asymmetrical design is intended to help all participants contribute to a memorable experience for everyone at the table. Okay, and we've got the heart of the game, which kind of breaks down to there is no winning.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's no losing, even though he does make a joke in one of his videos that you've lost, Daggerheart, go home.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is kind of like how we, our standard for not just Dungeons and Dragons. This is how I was taught with Dungeons and Dragons, but all role-playing games, where it is a collaborative experience. The only way you're really losing is if you're choosing not to collaborate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which I think was what stemmed the joke.
Mm-hmm. So, this is going to continue the pattern of, are you joining in to the adventure, or, are you not? And yeah, I've seen more than enough examples of people, even in role-playing games, that are choosing not to collaborate. We have touchstones. Daggerheart derives inspiration from a variety of sources. Below is an abridged list of media the design team drew from while crafting this game. I think this is useful. TTRPGs, books, films and television, and video games. So, actually I'll start with video games. Borderlands from Gearbox Software, Dragon Age Inquisition from BioWare, the Elder Scrolls series from Bethesda Game Studios, Outriders from People Who Can Fly. Films and television. The Dragon Prince, The Legend of Vox Machina, calling themselves out, The Lord of the Rings, The Witcher, Guardians of the Galaxy, and The Dark Crystal. Books. Sabriel by Garth Nix, A Song of Ice and Fire by George R.R. Martin, The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien, The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan, A Wizard of Earthsea by Ursula K. Le Guin.
I've read a lot of these.
Mm-hmm. TTRPGs. 13th Age from Pelgrane Press, Apocalypse Keys from Evil Hat Productions, Apocalypse World by Lumpley Games, Blades in the Dark by Evil Hat Productions, City of Mist from Son of Oak Game Studios, Cortex Prime from Fandom Tabletop, Cypher Systems from Monte Cook Games, Dishonored from Modifius Entertainment, Dungeons & Dragons from Wizard the Coast, Flea Mortals from MCDM Productions, For the Queen from Darrington Press, Genesis from Fantasy Flight Games, Lady Blackbird from 1/7 design, Masks of New Generation by Magpie Games, Pathfinder from Paizo Publishing, Shadowrun from Cataclysm Game Labs, The Quiet Year from Buried Without Ceremony, The Wild Sea from Mythopedia Games Publications, Slug Blaster from Mythopedia Games Publications. With a special appreciation, the Genesis system from Fantasy Flight Games was a major inspiration for the 2-axis result for the duality dice. The Cypher system from Monte Cook Games and its GM intrusions paved the way for spending fair to interrupt a scene. Among many other things, Wizards of the Coast Dungeons & Dragons advantage-disadvantage system for particular inspiration in the dice mechanics of this game. 13th Age by Pelgrane Press developed backgrounds that heavily inspired the experience mechanic. Blades in the Dark by Evil Hat Production and Apocalypse World from Lumply Games helped shape the narrative flow of the game.
Did they mention Dungeons & Dragons? Did I miss that?
Oh, they've mentioned it twice so far.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They're calling out Dungeons & Dragons specifically for the advantage-disadvantage system.
Ah.
Yeah. Blades in the Dark by Evil Hat Productions and Apocalypse World from Lumply Games helped shape the narrative flow of the game, and their playbooks inspired a lot of the character sheet development. Wild Sea from Mythopedia Games Publications and its phenomenal section on Reaches provide inspiration for the campaign frames section of this book. The design of Wizards of the Coast Dungeons & Dragons 4th edition and the monster design of Flea Mortals from MCDM Productions informed the enemy types and ways of managing minions. The Quiet Year from Buried Without Ceremony inspired the map building section of this book's campaign guidance, and Apocalypse Keys from Evil Hat Productions informed the sample session 0 structure. They are listing their sources.
Yeah.
Which I very much respect.
They did, on their website, they discuss under the resource pages.
Yeah.
And these included the Getting Started, Downloads, Session 0, Card Creator, and a Homebrew Kit.
Okay.
So you can make your own stuff.
Good. They have the Golden Rule, Core Mechanics Overview, Sessions and Campaigns. This is a hefty book, by the way. Just want to list how many pages. There's 366 pages in here.
You can also download the additional sheets, Daggerheart, the GM's Guide, which is a 17-page. Now, all it does is take the stuff that's in the book and give you printable versions of it.
So, it says, using this book, I do like that they're trying to explain how to use the book in the book.
Right.
I mean, I know that this is going to fail our, can you play within 15 minutes?
Oh.
Absolutely.
Even the Quick Start Guide, I don't think you can play. The Quick Adventure probably will take you more than 15 minutes to start playing.
Yes. But I do appreciate that it looks like they are trying to guide you through the use of this book. So we've got Chapter 1, Preparing for Adventure. This chapter covers everything you need to know to make a character in the Daggerheart system. Playing an adventure. This character details the core game mechanics you'll need to play a session, as well as how to level up your character, multi-class, to access new domains, and use special equipment you might discover during play. Chapter 3, Running an Adventure. This chapter is specifically for the GM, giving you the tools you'll need to run sessions and campaigns, in addition to detailing the core GM mechanics. This chapter guides you on using safety tools. Ooh, good call out on the safety tools. Running Session 0, customizing campaign maps, planning story arcs, and more. Chapter 4, Adversaries and Environments. This chapter provides rules and stat blocks for filling your world with challenging adversaries and dynamic environments. You can use pre-generated adversary and environment stats blocks, or follow this chapter guidance to create your own. Chapter 5, Campaign Frames. This campaign provides campaign frame options you can use to structure long-term play. I'm curious about the campaign frames, because that may help with an issue I've been having mentally in terms of, overarching campaigns. One of the issues that I've had, especially with a lot of the Dungeons & Dragons that I play, is you've got the tiers of play, but sometimes you'll be, for example, in 20th level, or let's very few people get to 20th level. Let's say you're 15th level.
Yeah.
And it feels like the plot that you're doing is,
run its course?
Not just run its course, but you're not, shakers of the realms. You're still helping out this one town.
Right.
Yeah. Sometimes it feels like the scope and stakes that you're playing with are out of touch with your power level. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are Thor stopping a burglar.
A burglar, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Thor can't, but
it's overkill.
not only is it overkill, if you're Thor and you're stopping a burglar, and you get experience points from these type of things, I don't think you should be getting experience.
Well, that has been a concept for a long time.
Yeah.
That if you're a certain number of levels above the CR,
if you don't actually find it challenging.
You guys are, in my Saturday game, levels 9 and 10.
Yeah.
And I won't even throw a CR 1/4 at you. Because you shouldn't get experience points. Unless I throw 100 of them at you, you shouldn't get experience points for killing those.
Yeah.
And with Spirit Guardians, if I throw 100 at you, that's just you standing there and waiting for them all to die.
Well, that's Shell just like, what's he going to do on his turn? He's going to move back, he's going to move forward. No, he's going to move back, he's going to move forward, to re-engage back, sometimes back into the same spot, and then bonus action re-up Shillelagh.
Yep.
Yeah. But no, what I'm thinking about is also, it could be like, okay, we're 10th level. Go investigate this, the site. If there isn't something that is a threat to the entire island at this point, why are we there? Yeah.
I was playing in my son's game on Wednesday, and my character has a wand of fireballs.
Yeah.
I said, I'm launching fireball in the room, and it was a separate room than we were in.
Yeah.
So we can launch it and shut the door. But I told him what level I cast it at, and he says, don't even bother rolling damage. They're all dead.
Yeah.
The minimum damage kills all of them. Oh, no, wait a minute. Come to think of it. Yeah. If they made all their saving throws,
it took half damage.
Yeah. Well,
minimum half damage. If minimum half damage on a required half damage, unless they've got evasion, they're all dead.
Yeah, every one of them.
Yeah. It's kind of like, I was talking about, the scope of, campaigns. If a Tarrasque is out, which is a CR 30, which means you're expecting, higher level characters to be dealing with that, a Tarrasque shouldn't be just, Godzilla. If this thing isn't put down or dealt with, it can destroy the entire kingdom. I feel like that's the threat of the Tarrasque. It's, mass casualties.
Godzilla is a Tarrasque with a breath weapon.
Well, the Tarrasque now has a breath weapon.
Oh.
It does.
So it's just Godzilla.
Yeah. With the Tarrasque, it's just Godzilla without the branding.
Yeah, it's funny though. Tarrasques originally were
French.
French, yeah. It was a French dragon.
Okay, so I can tell you how I normally handle these type of things, especially when we're dealing with in the same realm, design space as Dungeons and Dragons in terms of it being a fantasy and role playing. Normally, what I try to do when I'm learning a system is I have a couple of characters that are my go-tos, and I decide, can I build that character in this game?
Right.
Yeah, that's actually how I've tested 3rd edition, 4th edition, and 5th edition. I have certain go-to characters that, test my design space. Can I play this? Because I know that I will enjoy these characters. This is one of the benefits of, having these, go-to characters. Like, I know that I'm going to have fun with them.
Right.
Can I build them? So I'm going to be looking into that as we go. What do you need to play? 2 to 5 players, a game master, game dice, tokens, game cards, character sheets and notes, optional maps and miniatures. Okay. Player principles, and I'm rushing through these. I'm not going to be reading every little thing.
Well, let me tell you about maps and miniatures.
Mm-hmm.
In the what was I saying? The Quick Start Guide.
Mm-hmm.
They have little paper miniatures.
Yeah.
For all the characters and stuff. So when you print it out, you automatically get those.
Ooh, this is interesting. Player principles. We recommend following these principles when engaging with Daggerheart as a player to get the most out of the system. So they're talking about play philosophy here. Be a fan of your character and their journey. Spotlight your friends. Address the characters and address the players. Build your world together. Play to find out what happens. And hold on gently. Okay. I feel like because we don't really talk about the philosophy of play sometimes, and they're taking a...
We should bring that up as a just talking topic.
Yeah. Be a fan of your character and their journey. Find ways to show off what your character does best and what they do worst. Not just, what they do best. Strive to make interesting choices and learn more about who they are through play. Push your character's story forward and let them grow with the fiction, not friction. Although, make them grow with the friction as well. Spotlight your friends. Look for opportunities to put other characters in the spotlight. Provide them openings to do what they do best. Ask them for help and offer yours freely. And prompt them to share more of their thoughts and feelings. And I want to say that this is something that I think you've actively seen me try to do in your game.
Yeah.
Address the characters and address the players. Speak to the other players within the world of the fiction. Learn about the connections you build together. Ask them questions and create a story using your conversation as well as your actions. And I'm bringing up a lot of these because these are things that I can do not just in Daggerheart, but across all role-playing games. Speak to the other players outside of the fiction. Ask them what their characters might do and what they want to see happen in the narrative. As you play, be considerate of their preferences and desires. This is actively addressing the magic circle and bleed.
Right.
Build the world together. In Daggerheart, every participant is a storyteller, not just a game master. Daggerheart is a highly collaborative game and reaches its greatest potential when every player, including the GM, is working together. This means actively advocating for the story beats you want to see, offering suggestions to enrich the arcs of the other player characters, creating parts of the world with others at the table, and thinking deeply about your character's motivations, which is something I've been trying to do with Krita.
Right. Yeah, and it's sometimes the people's motivations are as simple as
I want to roll
kick down the door and loot.
Yeah.
If I have to fight after I kick down the door, okay. I do want to make a correction to something I said. The thing they're giving us a familiar problem is not what they're giving us.
Okay.
They actually gave that in June 22. It was a one-page RPG, which means the whole role-playing game rules are on that one page.
Okay.
Called Familiar Problem. But the thing that they're giving out now is called Dying Spire.
Okay.
It will no longer be something that's just reserved for GMs at Gen Con.
Okay. So I'm guessing they're going to have a pattern, and I'm hoping they do this where it's a pattern of they release certain things at Gen Con, which is exclusive. So come to Gen Con and get it early, but the year later, open to the rest of the public so they don't feel like they're excluded. But that Gen Con, there's going to be something new.
Yeah. They don't have a lot of products right now.
No.
For this.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to miniatures. I'm looking for measurements are done. Number 2 pencil.
Okay.
That's a range. Short edge of the paper, long edge of the paper, too far away to hit.
Okay. See, you say because I'm this type of yes, I'm this type of person.
Yeah.
Okay. You say number 2 pencil, and I'm thinking, I'm gonna bring in some of those those pencils that are like that long.
Yeah. No, this is traditional.
I know that.
The video is fun because their videos on how to play Daggerheart have some really great production value. Like they'll put up a little sheet with notes on it, and Mike Mercer will be, and this and this, and that, hiding behind the paper, because it's blocking him from being on there, so he's flipping back and forth. He's doing the size. It says melee combat, tick tick tick. And then each range going back, his character gets smaller.
Oh, nice.
And he's using...
These are professionals.
Yeah. He's got, the cards. The short edge and the long edge of the card are different ranges. This is the longest range with a measurement, and it's measured in the length of a sheet of paper.
Yeah.
So you put your miniature on the table, and you just... Simple objects, no actual numbers are needed.
Now I can see where there could be some problems, and this is because I'm an artist. What if you're in the United States as opposed to Britain, or Britain as opposed to the United States, and you're dealing with 8.5 by 11 as opposed to A4 paper, which are different dimensions.
Yes, but he specifically states
letter size.
8. Well, he gives the numbers 8.5 by 11.
Yeah,
which is letter size, and it's not A4 paper. And I've worked in both. After all, I was in Europe. Okay.
Oh, I wanted to. This is the one that, other than play to find out what happens, I want to go into what is hold on gently.
All right. Yeah, this is a good point to come up with.
Yeah. Improvisational storytelling isn't always perfect. And that's okay. Hold on gently to the fiction. Enough that you don't lose the pieces that matter, but not so tightly that the narrative has no room to breathe. Let yourself make mistakes and make changes. Smooth the edges and shape them to fit the story. Even if the story beats don't go the way you expect, or a sudden twist catches you by surprise. Trust that the game master trust your players, and your fellow players will all create something beautiful and memorable by the end. Following these principles will help guide you in telling exciting, unpredictable, and meaningful stories together at your table.
An example that they gave in the videos was if Luke Skywalker came to Cloud City and just wiped the table with him, the story would be very bad. It would not be a good story. It's better story that there are failures and conflicts.
Yes.
And things like that.
And this is something that I've anyone who has played with me for a long time, and especially my early campaigns, I very much do care about story, and I want there to
story trumps rules.
I've always been a strong believer that story trumps rules, and it is one thing that everyone likes to succeed, but sometimes to really get people to bite their teeth into that story, they need failure, and it isn't just total party wipe. It's one of the reasons why in my
TPK should be rare, despite my reputation.
Yes. in the assessment story that you guys had for me, that little adventure was supposed to end with a failure and not a total party wipe. Because my hook for my campaign is you guys think you're on a normal adventure, and at the end of that first arc, you guys get all thrown into slavery. Yeah. You guys realize, oh, there is actual evil in this world, and you are being subjected to it right now. And this is not me being, oh, I'm being cruel. No, just...
it's part of the story.
It's part of the story. Okay, I say you're thrown into slavery. I don't go and then, decide to be a complete narcissist and sociopath with your characters now. No, I don't do that.
Right.
But I make you guys realize what's at stake now. As opposed to, we're the heroes. We can't fail. Which I've seen too many times. Another other thing that I've done is, after they get out of there, I remind them at a couple of times where you guys may be powerful, and getting more powerful, you are never going to be the biggest fish in this pond. I introduce characters who are like, no, you're going to be talking to them, because there's no way you're winning this fight. I literally had one
like one of the games that introduce at first level, you meet a beholder.
Yeah.
You do not pick a fight there.
You don't pick a fight. Yeah, I had there's a particular character that I love. His name is Koreth. Koreth is a white dragon. Now, most people think white dragons are the weakest of dragons. He's a great worm. He's been around the block. Yeah. He's old. He's ancient. He is tired. He is grumpy.
He's a winter storm incarnate.
No, he's worse. His entire area, you can't even traverse it without his permission. Because the weather is just that bad. It is more than just a winter storm. It's like a perpetual blizzard.
Okay.
And he has come to talk. And as you're talking to him, you realize, oh, this is even getting up there like 10th to 15th level characters, maybe I can take him. And okay, make me an insight check. And you realize, okay, yeah, not only is he a great worm, he has levels of barbarian. He has multiple levels of barbarian. He is past CR20.
Right.
Yeah. And he's here to talk. Why are you trying to piss him off?
Because I'm tired of playing this character.
Then that is, honestly, if that's it, talk to me as a game master. I'll write you out. You don't have to be disruptive to the story. And that's how it's supposed to be done. If as a player you're having problems with the story, talk to the game master. Don't make it everyone else's problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, earlier I was telling you that Darrington Press has another role-playing game.
Yes.
It's Candela Obscura.
Oh, yeah.
An investigative horror tabletop. Oh, they have some different characters in here.
And I feel like I've seen advertisements for Candela Obscura, and I feel like that's their answer to Call of Cthulhu.
It is, but it's more. I think it's more ghost story than it is eldritch horror.
Although I feel like you can do ghost stories easily with the Call of Cthulhu. Not everything has to be eldritch horror with Call of Cthulhu.
Well, this is absolutely true.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is just a simple ghost or a simple zombie story. One of the first modules I think I ran you through with Call of Cthulhu was you meet a ghoul and don't have a fight with him.
Yeah. Yeah. You're talking about, okay, that one is Lovecraftian, but that's only because I've read The Reanimator by Lovecraft, and that, by the way, that is him dealing with undead, and no, the undead isn't inherently evil.
Right.
There is an evil undead, but that's besides the point. Okay,
and some things aren't mind-bending eldritch horrors. They're just bizarre, like a rat with a human face.
Yeah. I mean, there's also others, but that's going to get into some of the unfortunate aspects of H.P. Lovecraft. Kind of like, oh, they're fish people. No, it's just an allegory for, for foreigners. Yeah. Let's see here. Character creation. Unless you're the GM, the first step of Daggerheart is to create your character. In addition to choosing the class, community, and ancestry, you're also responsible for crafting their physical appearance, personality, and prior experience, as well as their relationship with the other characters. Some of the decisions are purely narrative, meaning they only appear in the game through your role playing, but others are mechanical choices that affect their actions more or less, likely to succeed when rolling your dice. And one of the things that they have in here, and I kind of skipped past this, is they look like they're already doing some world building in here.
Oh, yeah.
So the core realms include the Mortal Realm, the Hollows above, the Circles below, and the Realms beyond, which I'm guessing is, I guess, Earth, Heaven, Circle below are well, let's see here. The Mortal Realm, most adventures are likely to take place in the Mortal Realm. This is the land, sea, and sky where mortal lives out the entirety of their lives. The Hollows above. The Hollows above are the collection of deific territories that once belonged to the Forgotten Gods before the new gods claimed it at the end of the earliest age. The Circles below. The Circles below are the collection of lower realms where many of the Forgotten Realms, those who fought most passionately during the uprising, were banished, known as the Fallen Gods. Okay, that's interesting. The realms beyond the cosmos holds many realms beyond these. The elemental lands, the astral realm, the valley of death, and countless others. Okay, that's how they're breaking it up. Okay. Got magic and spells, flavoring your game. Have a session 0, think about your character concepts. Choosing a class. Okay. Classes. Class options. Bard, Druid, Guardian, Ranger, Rogue, Seraph, Sorcerer, Warrior, Wizard, with subclasses of, for the Bard, Troubadour or Wordsmith, for Druid, Warden of the Elements, or Warden of Renewal, Guardian, Stalwart or Vengeance, Ranger, Beastbound or Wayfinder, Rogue, Nightwalker or Syndicate, Seraph, Divine Wielder or Winged Sentinel, Sorcerer, Elemental Origin or Primal Origin. You were saying something?
Yeah. Let's stop a second and take a look at those cards.
Okay, yeah.
Because we can talk about what type of cards they are, what they do.
You want me to crack these open?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So, we have, looks like 6 blocks, and there's stuff on the back, guessing to easily distinguish it. These are spells. Okay. We have some abilities. I'm guessing these are the classes, because we've got Druid here.
Right. So, when you're creating your character, you take a race card, or species card. I don't remember what they call them. Ancestry card, I think. So you take an ancestry card, and then you take a culture card. Then, so I'm a elf.
Yeah.
I'm just using something common. But I was raised in the Underdark, or I was raised in the shore. So I'm, my culture can be different than my species.
Yeah.
It's like if you had an elf from South America, it would be different than an Irish elf.
I find that amusing. You bringing up a elf from South America. One of the players that I had, had a character. Was in half elf. Okay, it was half elf, half Brazilian. And these are the, for example, we've got the Warden of Elements, the druids. Elements, renewal, I guess 2 of each.
Yeah, they're supposed to be, if my understanding is correct, you have a class, and then you have 2 subclasses that go under it.
Yeah.
And you pick one of those subclasses. So you're going to pick a total of 4 cards to create your character.
Okay.
Generation of your characters, you don't have numbers. You just have the pluses. Well, the numbers are there, but they're not like I have a strength of 18.
Okay.
I have a +2 strength, a +1, or a 0. And those are your options. You get like 2 +0s, 3 +1s, and a +2.
Yeah, so when I said it was really mechanical light, they weren't joking.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, and
so character creation is pretty fast.
Okay. Well, I mean, I said, I normally test it, we've got 10 minutes left. Let's see how quickly I can make Neff.
Okay.
Okay. So, Neff is a rogue ranger in the Dungeons & Dragons. He is a elf. He is a survivor of slavery.
You are making a first-level character. So my understanding is you have to choose ranger or rogue to start with.
I understand that. I am kind of going where the theme is, where he's more... Right. If he's rogue, he's more nature-based.
If he's ranger...
He's more street-based.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's in that liminal space.
He's doing urban bounty hunter.
Yeah, very much so. So let's take a look here. So of the class options, they have both rogue and ranger. Okay. Of the subclasses of ranger, we've got beastbound and wayfinder.
Do you want me to print out a character sheet for you?
No, we don't need to. Of the rogues, we have Nightwalker or Syndicate. Okay, with Nightwalker, if you want to manipulate shadows to maneuver through the environment, or play Syndicate if you want to have a web of contacts everywhere you go. With the Beastbound, if you want to form a deep bond with an animal ally, or play the Wayfinder if you want to hunt your prey and strike with deadly force. So, Wayfinder.
Okay.
Wayfinder.
So we're going to do Ranger Wayfinder.
Yes.
As your first level character. And you have cards representing each of those.
Yeah. Choose your heritage. We have your character's ancestry reflects their lineage, impacting their physicality and granting them 2 unique features. Take the card for one of the following ancestries, then write its name in their heritage. And they don't really have explanations for it. We've got Clanka, Drunka, Dwarf, Elf. So, Elf. Okay? Choose your community. Next, you'll choose a community from the available community cards. Your character's community is influenced by its physical location, values, and goals. It informs the culture your character grew up in and might play a part in the way they look, act, or approach situations. Each community comes with a feature that you can utilize during the game. Take the card for one of the following communities, then write down its name in the heritage field for your character sheet. We've got Highborn, Ridgeborn, Underborn, Loreborn, Seaborn, Wanderborn, Orderborn, Slyborn, or Wildborn.
So all these things are what kind of culture you came up with, not a specific country of origin.
Yeah, I'm.
Is he Wildborn?
I feel it's either going to be between Wildborn and Underborn, depending on what that means. I don't really know what Underborn means.
Can I see the cards? Maybe I can find that card for you?
Sure.
I don't... It seems to me that you should be able to not use the cards.
Yeah.
But the cards may be a mandatory part of this game.
Yeah, so here are the class cards. These are the ability cards.
Okay.
Let me open this up.
Okay, here we go. Ranger. And... Oh. Eastbound. Okay. Wayfinder, Foundation, Specialization, and Mastery. So I think each one of these cards are for your basic levels of how high you're up.
Yeah.
So you're going to start with the Foundation card.
Yeah.
Spellcast trait is Agility. Ruthless Predator. When you make a damage roll, you can mark a stress to gain +1 bonus to your proficiency. If you get too much stress, you start taking damage. Armor takes away damage. It does not prevent you from getting hit.
So I'm laughing because this is getting into one of the narratives of Neff, and it's something that I always try to incorporate some way, where he has a kind of like a self-inflicted curse.
Right.
He has a nasty scar over his eye, and it isn't just like, oh, he's Harry Potter. No. Under enough stress, I would argue in Daggerheart, his face starts to re-bleed.
Is that readable?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I would argue, under enough stress, he may be blinded in one eye because it's starting to bleed again.
Right. So you don't have your rogue. Let's see the racist.
I'm trying to find it. So far, I just see there's abilities, and I think I don't know where these are coming from.
Okay, let me see one of those cards.
I'll give you the entire stack.
Okay.
Yeah. And after that is spells. There's 3.
Well, these abilities are for melee characters and spellcasters and holy people, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's 3 types.
Oh, there we go. Okay, I found the spells. Well, the creatures.
Okay. Is that your ancestries?
Yeah, because there was this ability that was blocking it. But after that, we've got, like, for example, Clank, which is some type of Warforged.
Yeah. Clanks are robots. Are sentient mechanical beings built from a variety of materials, including metal, wood, and stone. That is to the direct description of a Warforged.
Yeah.
Dracona, dwarf, elf.
Okay, what are
elves are typically tall humanoids with pointy ears and acutely attuned senses. Quick reactions mark a stress to gain advantage on a reaction roll. Celestial trance. During a rest, you can drop into a trance to choose an additional downtime move.
Okay.
So downtime is important here. We have short rest and long rests.
Okay.
I believe a short rest is a downtime.
Do they have your community?
Community, not in this card deck. So you need to find the community deck.
Huh. Okay. Let's see here. Is it in the spells?
It should look for one that says born on it. And if it's not on the top, we'll have to open them all.
We have to open them all.
Okay.
Because I'm seeing spells, spells, and spells. I mean, part of me wishes that it was a bit organized a bit better to be able to see, like, okay, these are the generation spell cards. Like, I feel like the elf and all the heritage ones should have been with the community ones.
Okay.
So you can take a look here, but I don't see any community ones.
Yeah, they will be labeled community.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Okay, none of these are community.
There we go.
Like, what was one of the borns that you're thinking? Wildborn?
Either Wildborn or Underborn.
Okay, wildborn. Being part of a wildborn community means you live deep in the forest. Lightfoot. Your movement is naturally silent. You have advantage on rolls to move without being hurt.
Okay, what's Underborn?
Being part of an underborn community means you're from a subterranean society.
Uh-huh.
Low light living. When you're in an area with low light or heavy shadow, you have advantage on rolls to hide, investigate, or perceive details with that area. So underborn is undermountain. Lowborn, I guess, would be your criminals.
Yeah.
Being part of a lowborn community means you're from a society that favors strong academic or lore, not lowborn.
Yeah.
Okay, highborn, orderborn community means that you're collective that focus discipline and faith. Ridgeborn, community means you call the rocky peaks and sharp cliffs of the mountainside as your home. Seaborn is Slyborn. Being part of the Slyborn community means you come from a group that operates outside the law, including all manner of criminals, grifters, and con artists.
Yeah, that's... I really do feel like it is between Underborn, which is where he was a slave, or Wildborn, which is where he was before he was a slave.
Okay.
So I'd probably go with Wildborn, because he never feels like it's home to him.
Correct.
Okay.
Alright.
So he'd be a Wayfinder elf who's Wildborn, which I know seems very, very, what's the word? Stereotypical?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So?
But it's how you make your own.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things they said in the video. It's okay not to know your character fully because you're supposed to develop your character as you play and discover new parts about the character. All right, so we have your class, your ancestry,
and your community.
Then
we've got assigned character traits, agility. Next, you'll assign values to the character traits on your character sheet. These values reflect your natural or trained ability in each of the core 6 abilities, which is agility, strength, finesse, instinct, presence, and knowledge. Each trait lists verbs such as sprint, leap, and maneuver that show the type of actions a character might perform that involve that trait. These examples are just inspiration. They shouldn't limit how each trait is used.
Okay. So one of the things to note here is that you have a standard array. And all characters have the same standard array. You don't roll for your stats.
Yeah.
But if you're having trouble thinking of where to put your standard array, look at your character class description in the book, and it'll give you a sample of way to spread those out. Yeah.
So I know that for him, he'd probably care very much about agility and finesse. He would... this is how when I build Neff, I dump his charisma. He is not good socializing. So I know that his presence, which is charm, perform, and deceive, I wanted it as far in the gutters as I can.
Which is a 0.
Yeah.
So you can't be worse than average, I think.
Yeah. I kind of wish that I could make him lower than average. Yeah.
-1.
Yeah, I want a -1 on him.
Well, if your dungeon master allows it, and you want a story where you're starting with a penalty, why not?
Yeah.
By the way, it's game master, not dungeon master.
Yeah. They call it GM here, and this is one of the things where I believe Dungeons Master is trademarked by Wizards of the Coast.
How can they? The BDSM community had it first.
we can get into that another day. But we're actually running out of time.
As usual.
Yes.
But you made a quick character.
Yeah, I guess I did. With the exception of putting out the stats.
Well, and filling in the sheet itself, that's your character.
Yeah. And, I could already see, they're talking about stress, and if it's how I think it is, Yeah, it's already building into how I'm going to be playing him. I want him stressed out a lot.
Don't forget, too much stress equals damage.
That's what I want with him.
Another thing is your armor.
Mm-hmm.
You get like 1, 2, or 3 pieces of armor, and I think there's ways to get it higher than that.
Mm-hmm.
But every time you use a piece of armor, you reduce the degree of damage.
Mm-hmm.
Damage isn't numerical.
Okay.
It's light, medium, heavy, and deadly, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
If you get to the last point of damage, then you just die.
Mm-hmm.
But you can reduce the severity of the damage. Well, no, actually, it does have numbers. I believe each severity level equals a certain amount of damage you take.
Mm-hmm.
And you use one of your armor points
Mm-hmm.
to reduce it a severity level.
Okay.
So you can reduce it to 0 if you're taking light damage. What other things? Stress, armor, deflection, and rolling 2 dice 6. And
Or 2d12.
2 die 12, and you have your hope one.
Mm-hmm.
So if your hope die, you're going to add both numbers together no matter what.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a success or failure,
Mm-hmm.
either with hope or with fear. If your fear die is higher than your hope die, it's with fear. If your hope die is higher than your fear die,
Mm-hmm.
it is the other way around.
Yeah.
You get more hope. Now, next week we'll talk about other things. But the last thing I want to say about this particular unboxing is, if this is what you want to see more hour-long unboxings, or are you missing the Challenge of Champions?
I know I'm not missing the Challenge of Champions. I'm tired of losing to word games.
Yeah, I don't blame you. And I think I want to make the longer unboxing session with possible little playtest version, even if it's just create the character,
Yeah.
or discussing the quick adventure guide.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what we're going to lean into for now.
I like that. I like that. So, and
Now, I'm going to have to say, though, if we suddenly get an overwhelming response telling us to bring it back, you're going to have to suffer.
Well,
and I don't think there's any fear of that happening.
No. Yeah, but we were talking about if our characters that we would make would come into real life. I can tell you, Neff.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably be running for my life because Neff would want to kill me with the amount of suffering I put him through.
I want revenge.
Yes, I would be one of the people he's hunting.
He's a bad god.
Yes. So this has been the RPG Talk Show. Oh, wait, let me switch this over.
2 cards.
Yes.
And you were right. You got the first words right.
Yeah, this has been the RPG Talk Show, brought to you by RPG Research in cooperation with the USS Spokane. The Inland Empire Star Trek Fan Association. Comments, questions, and suggestions should be directed to info@rpgresearch.com with the subject line including RPG Talk Show.
Next week, our topic will be historical perspectives in the media. How has role-playing games been presented in the media?
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler alert, it's not good.
Well, it's been getting better.
It has been, but
yeah,
we'll get more into that next time.
Yes. So this is me. All of this has been building up to me talking more about role-playing games in the media. So we'll see you next time. Good night and
dream well.